Hi friends, welcome back. In this video, we are going to configure DHCP version 6. We will also configure stateless address auto configuration. Then we will configure a stateless DHCP version 6 server and stateful DHCP version 6 server. Before coming to this lab, friends, if you wish to get these type of technical videos, consider subscribing. And also, if you wish to get any technical support, you can contact our team. All the details given in the description below. Okay, now back to our lab. So first of all, we are going to design our topology for this DHCP. We will have two routers for 331 series. This is R1 and R2. Then two switches 2960 series. S1 and S2. Then two PCs. PC1 and PC2. We will connect all these devices. We will choose copper straight through. From R1 gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0 to R2 gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0. Then from R1 to S1. Also from R2 to S2. Then we will connect into devices. We will configure these routers. We will use this IPv6 address for this network. The interface G0/0/1 connected to this network. We will use this IPv6 address 20:1:ACAD:1:/64. Then we will use FE80:1 as the link local. Okay, this is R1 S1, so better I will use, instead of A, I will use here 1. Okay. Now the other side, R2 LAN, we will use 20:1:DB8:AC80:2:/64. Then link local FE80:2. Then in the middle, between R1 and R2, we will use 20:1:DB8:AC80:64. So link local, we will set FE80:1 for this interface G0/0/0 and FE80:2 for this interface G0/0/0 on R2. First, we will configure this router R1. Would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? No. Enable configure terminal. We will set the host name first. We are not doing all the basic settings. And also we will do no IP domain lookup. We will enable IPv6 unicast routing. Now we will configure IPv6 address for this interface G0/0/1 in this router R1. We'll go to interface G0/0/1 and set IPv6 address. (2001) db8 acad 1 1/64. Also, we will set IPv6 address fe80:1 as a link local. We will activate this interface G0/0/1. We can see this interface G0/0/1 is activated in this router R1. Now we will configure IPv6 address and link local IPv6 address in this interface G0/0/0. Interface G0/0/0. We will set the IPv6 address 2001 db8 acad 1/64. IPv6 address fe80:1 as a link local. Activate the interface. We can verify the configuration. First, we will copy from running config to startup config. Show IPv6 interface brief. We configured a gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0. We can see the link local IPv6 address and global unicast IPv6 address here. And also for the interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0/1. Okay, this is down. Anyway, we need to configure the other side on R2. Next, we will go to this router R2. Would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? No. Enable configure terminal. We will set the host name as R2 and we'll give no IP domain lookup 2. Then we will enable IPv6 unicast routing. First of all, we will configure IPv6 and link local address for this interface G0/0/1 for this LAN. We will go to interface G0/0/1. Then we will set the IPv6 address 2001 db8 acad 2:1/64. Then IPv6 address fe80:1 as link local. We will activate this interface, no shutdown. Okay, now we will go to this interface G0/0/0. IPv6 address 2001 db8 acad 2/64. IPv6 address fe80:2. Oh, here we set fe80:1. Anyway, we will change that for this interface G0/0/1. Link local. So just we will go back to, before that let me activate this interface, no shutdown. Then again we will go back to interface G0/0/1, and we will set this IPv6 address FE80:2 as link local. We will verify the configuration. Copy running config space startup config. Show IPv6 interface brief. We can see gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0, protocol and status up, FE80:2 it's correct, IPv6 address, then gigabit Ethernet 0/0/1 it's up, and we can see link local IPv6 address, it is correct. We changed from FE80:1 to this FE80:2, and here we can see global unicast IPv6 address. So first we are going to configure SLAAC, SLAAC, that is stateless address auto configuration. We already activated IPv6 address on these routers R1 and R2. And we configured IPv6 address on each interfaces. Now we can go to these end devices. First of all, we'll go to PC1, desktop, IP configuration, and here we can see this IPv6 configuration option. So we are going to change this option from static to automatic. So here we can see IPv6 request successful. So here SLAAC is working. IPv6 address is assigned automatically. So we can see 2001:db8:acad:1, then this address is auto generated with the help of MAC address. And also we can see the default gateway FE80:1, and we cannot see the DNS server here because we did not configure any DHCP version 6 server. So we will do that next. So this is SLAAC configuration, stateless address auto configuration. The same way PC2 also will get the IP address, IPv6 address from this router R2. You can see that IPv6 request successful. Here keep in mind we have two routers, and we are not going to configure the static or dynamic routing here. Hence these PCs, PC1 and PC2, will not communicate each other. So that practical that lab we will do in the coming labs. So stay tuned for that. Now we are going to create DHCP version 6, stateless DHCP version 6 server. So we will do that in this LAN. Stateless DHCP version 6 server here. So we will go to R1, we will do that configuration. Configure terminal. Now we need to create a DHCP, IPv6 DHCP pool. So for that we need to give IPv6 DHCP pool. Then we need to specify a name. Let me put a question mark here. So we can see DHCP pool name. So we will give R1 stateless. Okay. Now we are going to specify our DNS server. Also we will give a domain name, DNS server. Anyway, in this topology we don't have any DNS server, but we are going to give a DNS server IPv6 address 2001:db8:. colon ACAD colon A double colon 1 slash, okay, not required, slash 64 here. So we given the DNS server address. Also we will set domain name. We will give this domain name as stateless.com. Now we need to configure this interface G0/0/1 on this router R1 to provide the other config flag to the R1 LAN and specify the DHCP pool we just created, right, as the DHCP resource for this interface, so that this PC1 will get the IPv6 address along with the DNS server we created. We will do that configuration. We will exit from this DHCP, then we will go to the interface G0/0/1 and we will give IPv6 ND other config flag. Then we will give IPv6 DHCP server and that pool name we created, that is R1 stateless, and we'll copy from running config to startup config. Now we are going to reconfigure this PC1. So either we can go through this automatic again, otherwise we can go to command prompt IPv6 config /renew. Let me try this. Okay, we will give IP config /renew. So we can see DHCP request is failed. Let me release. Oh, this is working with IPv4. So let me give IPv6 config renew. So we will verify IPv6 config /all. Yeah, here we can see stateless.com, our domain name, and IPv6 address is here, IPv6 address, and also we can see the default gateway, and also we can see DNS server IPv6 address we already set in this stateless DHCP version 6 server. So here we can see that DNS server address here. Now we are going to configure stateful DHCP version 6 server in this R2 LAN. So in this side we are going to configure this stateful. So we will create IPv6 DHCP pool on this router R2, and we will give the name as R2-stateful. Okay, then in this pool we will create the DNS server IPv6 address, and then we will set the domain name. We will give the domain name as stateful.com. And this domain name you can create based on your requirement. Okay, now we will go to R2, enable configure terminal. We will create IPv6 DHCP pool. We will give the name as R2 stateful. Okay, now we need to set the address prefix here. Address prefix for this LAN be given 2001 GB8 ACAD 2 /64. So this is the subnet we taken for this LAN. Now we will set the DNS server 2001 colon GB8 colon ACAD colon A double colon 1 as the DNS server. Also we will set the domain name. We'll give stateful.com. Now we need to go to this interface G0/0/1 on this router R2, and we need to provide like a managed config flag to this R1 LAN, and we must specify the DHCP pool we created, that is R2-stateful as the DHCP resource for this interface. We will do that. We will exit from this mode. Then we will go to interface G0/0/1 and we will give IPv6 ND. It's a managed config flag. Now we will give IPv6 DHCP. Our server is R2. We given stateful. And we can verify that. Show, let me copy from run to start. So we'll verify show running config. So we can see we created this pool R2 stateful, and we can see the address prefix we given, then DNS server and domain name. And here we can see that IPv6 managed config flag. Then our pool we created R2 stateful. Now we will reconfigure this PC to. Or before that, let me give this IP config/all command. So we can see connection specific DNS suffix is not present here. So we will give IPv6 config/renew. So this command may vary, depends on the operating system. Then we will give IPv6 config or IP config all also can be given. Yes. Now we can see this connection specific DNS suffix is stateful.com, and we can see physical address link local for this PC, then IPv6 address. So here we can see 2001 colon DB8 colon ACAD colon 2. Then this address is auto generated with the help of the MAC address of this PC. Then we can see here default gateway, then DNS server. Yes, we can see our DNS server also. So in this lab we configured SLAAC, that is a stateless address auto configuration. Then we configured stateless DHCP version 6 server and stateful DHCP version 6 server. So friends, so that's all in this lab. Now friends, if you get any doubt regarding this activity, you can contact us. All the details given in the description below. Better you can contact in our WhatsApp number given in the description below. And if you need any technical support, you can contact our team. So we will meet again with the next video. Thank you.